Arsenal suffered their third defeat in 4 matches, as Mikel Arteta's side were deservedly beaten 2-1 at home by Bournemouth. Junior Krupi have the visitors the lead in the first half, before Victor Gyökeres pulled Arsenal level from the spot. Junior Krupi have the visitors the lead in the first half, before Victor Gyökeres pulled Arsenal level from the spot. But Mikel Arteta's side were comfortably second best after the break, and were punished when Alex Scott surged into the area, before coolly finishing past David Raya. The Gunners miss out on the opportunity to move 12 points clear at the top of the Premier League table, and could have their lead cut to just 6 points if Manchester City can beat Chelsea on Sunday. Arsenal's Premier League title hopes were dealt a significant blow following a 2-1 defeat to Bournemouth at the Emirates Stadium on Saturday. Junior Krupi handed the visitors a well-earned lead after 17 minutes before Victor Gyökeres clawed a laboured Arsenal back into the game from the penalty spot. However, Alex Scott restored Bournemouth's advantage in the 74th minute, and Mikel Arteta's shell-shocked side failed to find a response of any sort. Arsenal's loss hands Manchester City the chance to reduce the 9-point lead to 6 when they faced Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on Sunday afternoon, 7 days before the top to meet at the Etihad Stadium. Bournemouth, meanwhile, have boosted their chances of qualifying for Europe by winning at the Emirates Stadium in successive seasons. The Cherries remain unbeaten in the league since losing the reverse fixture back in January, and were well worth all 3 points on what may have been a decisive day in the title race. Top of the league and in charge of the title race, only to fade away and be pipped at the post. Arsenal have been there before. But 9 points clear after 32 games played and still failing to win the league. No team in Premier League history has capitulated to that extent. Could Mikel Arteta's side really be the first to throw it away from that position? After back-to-back draws for nearest rivals Manchester City, along with a 4-game winning streak for the Gunners, many were beginning to assume Arsenal's 22-year wait for the Premier League title was finally set to end. Saturday's chastening 2-1 home defeat by Bournemouth, however, has once again left the door ajar for Pep Guardiola's side, who have 2 games in hand on the Gunners. They could blow it playing like that, said former Newcastle and England forward Alan Shearer, who is a pundit on Saturday's Match of the Day. They were poor in every department. No energy, flat. They looked very, very nervous. The whole place seemed nervous. As they haven't won it for so long, I perhaps understand, but they have to get through that or they're going to miss out. Arteta described Arsenal's first league defeat since January as a big punch to the face and a painful day. That's what I said to the boys, and now it's about how we react to that, he added. React they must. Their next league game is at City next Sunday, and it could go a long way to deciding the title. 9 points clear with 6 games to play. You would have thought it was practically a done deal for Arsenal, despite the defeat by Bournemouth. As it is, with games in hand a factor, they may not even be top by the time they next play at Emirates Stadium. If Manchester City beat Chelsea on Sunday, they will cut the gap to 6 points, and will trim the deficit further if they are able to beat the Gunners next Sunday. City then travel to Burnley for their other game in hand on Wednesday, the 22nd of April. Another victory in that match, providing they have been able to wipe out Arsenal's 6-goal advantage on goal difference by then, will see Guardiola's side sit top with 5 to play. The title race does still remain in Arsenal's hands, but it is now also in Manchester City's given the game between the two next weekend. Manchester United threw away an 8-point advantage per 32 games in 2011-12, when City went on to win the title, but a 9-point lead has never been surrendered at this stage of a season. Arteta's men have, however, gained a reputation for letting leads slip. They were top after 32 games played in 2022-23 and finished second, although they were only 5 points ahead of City, who also had 2 games in hand then. In the Premier League era, they've been top after playing their 32nd game on, for occasions, winning the title in 2001-2 and 2003-4 and finishing second in 2002-3 and 2022-23. They have never been 9 points clear at this stage of a campaign. Data analysts opt to still give Arsenal a 93.60% chance of winning the title, based on thousands of simulations of each team's remaining fixtures. Whatever the result, this was a poor performance by Arsenal, who looked jaded compared to a fresh Bournemouth side who had not played for 3 weeks. This was the 53rd game of the Gunners' season, as they have attempted to win trophies in multiple competitions. However, defeats in the Carabao Cup final, FA Cup quarter-finals, and now against the Cherries means they have lost 3 of their last 4 all competitions. Arsenal were without Bukayo Saka, captain Martin Odegaard, and Julian Timber through injury, while Miles Lewis-Skelly was making just his second start of the season at left-back with Ricardo Calafiori also unavailable. I thought the result in Lisbon in midweek would have helped them massively, just to get a little bit of momentum and confidence after the 2 cup defeats, added Shearer. But there was nothing I saw today that would give me confidence that they're going to go and win the league. There was a nervous atmosphere inside the stadium, with loose passes met by groans from the home supporters, as it was clear that the Gunners were not at their best. Arteta had asked the fans to turn up early to create an intimidating atmosphere, but the Gunners' boss does not think that the expectation is getting to his side. I don't think there is pressure, Arteta told BBC Match of the Day. We have been coping with a lot of pressure since the beginning of the season. Today, there were some actions that are very far from the level that we have shown, and that shocks the system. We ask a lot from our crowd, and today we didn't respond to those standards, and we have to apologise, take it on the chin and move on.